Hi there, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to our 35-minute total body workout. And we're just going to start sitting up nice and tall. So take a few minutes to get comfortable, and then when you are, take your hands together in front of your heart and create your intention for your practice. So there might be something that you're working on. Maybe you're going to send out good intentions or good vibes to somebody. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bring the fingertips forward. Lengthen the spine on your inhale and walk yourself forward any amount on your exhale. So we're hinging from the hips in this forward fold so that we try to round the back less. And take a few breaths here. We're going to do some hip opening and shoulder opening. Inhale to come up and switch the cross of the legs. Sitting tall again, inhale, sweep the arms up. Make sure to keep the front ribs in, lift up through the back ribs. Hinge from the hips, exhale, fingertips forward. Pull the chest forward, inhale. You can stay up or walk forward. Again, any amount. And breathe here. Make sure to take long, smooth inhales and exhales. And just one more breath. And then head up, inhale, walk yourself back up. So come off of the blanket if you have one, come onto your back. Onto hands and knees first. Bring your wrists in front of your shoulders. And then stretch back into a child's pose. And take the knees a little bit wide. And then shift your hips off to the right. And then bring them forward. And then shift them to the left and take the hips all the way back to the heels. So you're making a big hip circle. So hips off to the right. Inhale the hips forward. Exhale, bring them to the left. Shift them back toward the heels. You can make your circles big or small. And then just pause for a moment. And then we'll take the hips to the left and shift the direction. So again, the wrists are just a little in front of the shoulders so that when you bring your hips forward, you have space. Taking the hips back, stretch out the spine, and then shift them over to the left. Bring them forward, and then all the way around. And then stretch back and pause again. Up onto the knees, tuck the toes, downward dog. Arms are shoulders distance, feet are hips width. Feel free to bicycle the legs if you like. Arms and ears are in line, and draw the front ribs in. And just keep stretching back to lengthen the hamstrings. And then looking forward, we're going to come through and sit. And now we're going to lie down. If you have a strap or a towel handy, grab it. Otherwise, you can always hold your legs. You're going to draw the right knee in. Extend the right leg up. You can hold on to the right leg anywhere at all. Maybe hold on behind the thigh or the calf, or maybe take the toe. The left leg is active. The left toes point up toward the ceiling. And draw your right hip toward the front of your mat. And breathing here. Now take your left hand onto your left thigh. Remind it to stay down. Exhale. So instead of letting your left hip pop off the floor, keep it grounded down as you open the right leg to the right. And then look over the left shoulder as long as that feels okay on your neck. Let's take a long breath here. A little stretch out of the legs and the hips, hamstrings, and we'll also do a nice little twist in a moment. Inhale the leg to center, or exhale, lift the head and shoulders. We're not going to do the twist, my goodness, but lift up, use your belly muscles, and then release. I'm a little bit off today, aren't I? I'm going to draw the left knee into the chest. Lift the left leg up toward the ceiling. Hold on anywhere along the leg that you like. Use a strap or a towel. And then extend the left hip forward. Make sure the right leg stays active. The right toes point straight up. And breathe here. Release any tension in the shoulders and the jaw. So lengthening out the leg. Try to straighten the knee if you can. If it's hard to straighten the knee, then use a strap or a belt or something like that to help so that you can start to straighten that leg. And then right hand on right hip. Exhale, take the left leg to the left. Keep the right hip pressing down. Look over the right shoulder as long as it's okay on your neck. Take just a couple long breaths here. Keeping the breath smooth in and out through the nose if that's available. Inhale the leg to center. Exhale, lift up your head and shoulders. Now use your belly strength more than using the arm strength. Take another breath, lifting up and release down. And then let's release the leg. Draw the knees into the chest. Start to roll back and forth up and down the spine. Take 2 or 3 rolls and come on up. And then make your way into plank pose, top of a push-up. So the wrists are right beneath the shoulders. And you can always take the knees to the floor. Draw the belly in, shift forward. Exhale, lower down to your belly, all the way down, untucking the toes. Inhale, low cobra. Hands are by low ribs. So draw the hands toward the feet. Tailbone reaches toward the feet. Ribs are in. And then to the knees, tuck the toes, and lift up and back for down dog. Feel free to bicycle the legs here again if you wish. Make sure to spread your fingers nice and wide. Press into the base of your fingers as your forearms lift up away from the mat. Gaze between your knees so the arms and ears are in line. Inhale, lift the right leg back and up from the inner thigh. As you exhale, draw the knee forward and pull it into the belly and then step it up. Take your left knee to the floor. Feel free to pad up the knee if you need any padding underneath it. And inhale to come up, reach up nice and tall. Sink your hips forward as you draw your right hip back. So right hip draws back, left hip's coming forward. Arms and ears in line if you can. You can always take your arms wider than shoulders distance. And exhale, sweep the hands behind you, interlace fingers or hook thumbs. Inhale, start to reach the knuckles toward the floor, opening the upper back. So instead of getting this into the lower back, try to move the shoulder blades in toward each other and widen across your collarbones. And then release that. Come back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga, knees are all the way to the floor. Knees up or down. Inhale to cobra again, maybe a little higher if you like. Make sure to press the pubic bone down a little. Exhale, press up and back, downward dog. You always press up without the knees on the floor. Left leg lifts. Inhale from the inner thigh, level hips. Then bring the knee toward the belly. Hold a moment, pressing away from the floor. Then very quietly step it up by the left hand. Take the right knee down. Pad up the knee if you need any padding. Draw the left hip back. Tailbone's going to lengthen down. Open up the chest. Keep the ribs and belly in, stretch up tall through the arms. Breathing here. So every inhale, see if you can get some more length, and every exhale, maybe sink in a little bit deeper, but make sure the knee doesn't go past your ankle. Exhale, sweep the hands to the low back, interlace other pinky on the top, then open up the chest, reach the knuckles toward the floor, widen the collarbones, shoulder blades move toward each other and in toward the front, but keep your ribs drawing down, front ribs in. Breathe into the chest. And then hands back to the mat, stepping to plank and lowering all the way to the floor once again. Untucking the toes. Inhale, cobra, and maybe a little higher if you like. So come up as high as you're comfortable with, but if you have any pain in the low back, go down. Look over the right shoulder. In your cobra, keep the belly pulled in, come to center and lower down. Press all the toenails into the floor. Tailbone's going to reach toward the heels. Inhale, lift up. Cobra any height. Look over your left shoulder. Try and keep the right shoulder drawing back. And breathe here. And then head to center, lower down. Tuck the toes under. Press up to plank. Knees can stay down. Lift the hips for down dog. And breathing here. Keep pressing the weight up through the hips and then down into the heels. Now look forward, step your feet or hop them up. Take an inhale and lengthen through the spine halfway up. Exhale, fold forward, bending the knees as needed. Head heavy. Press down through the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms out, around, and up. Look up and bring the hands to heart, Samastitihi. Inhale, sweep the arms out, around, and up. As you exhale, hinge from the hips to fold. Let the head hang down. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. As you exhale, stepping back to plank, or you could always float and land in chaturanga. Lower from plank, knees up or down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Up dog, thighs and knees off the floor. Roll the shoulder heads back. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts from the inner thigh. Exhale, step it lightly up, right in the middle of the hands. And then we'll come into a high lunge. If you're wobbly, walk your right foot to the right a little. Bend the back knee, drop the tailbone down, lift the hip points, and then straighten it. Keep the right hip drawing back. And reaching up, take the arms out to a T, right arm over left for Gardasana arms. If that doesn't work, you can cross the arms and touch your shoulders. So if it's working, lift your chest, lift the elbows a little, draw the shoulder blades down. We're going to take the back foot flat, line up front heel with back arch. Just got to move your feet, drop the right hip down. Make sure that knee is going right over the middle toes. You're going to move the knee toward the pinky toe side of the foot, and then just face your torso toward the long side of the mat and your gaze there as well. Keeping the arms engaged. And then inhale, arms to a T. Making sure knee is still over ankle. Drop the left arm, reverse your warrior, rebend again into the right knee. Inhaling up, windmill the arms down and step back. Chaturanga Dandasana, shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll do the other side. Left leg lifts on the inhale. Exhale, quietly step it up by the left hand. Stand the ball of your back foot and come on up on your inhale. Reach up nice and tall. So again, if you're wobbly, walk the left foot to the left. Bend the back knee and tilt your pelvis forward just a little bit. And reach up tall through all four sides of the waist. Draw your front ribs down and lift through your back ribs. Stretch up through the arms. And then arms to a T. And we'll bring left arm over right. You can always touch your shoulders if it doesn't work too. Take the Gardasana arms. Lift the chest. Gently lift the elbows and allow the shoulder blades again to draw down toward your waist. Keep the breath nice and steady. So this is crescent pose. Now we'll move into warrior two. So make sure you've lined up heel to arch as you take that back foot flat. Then drop the front hip down and check to see where the left knee is. Move it right over the middle toes. Arms are the same, still lifting and widening the collarbones. Drawing the front ribs in, and then arms to a T. Inhale here. And reverse, dropping the right arm. Keep stretching through the side body. Inhaling up, lean forward. Exhale, windmill down. Through a vinyasa or skip it and go to down dog. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling up dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Feel free to take a break if you like. You can always push pause. Otherwise, walk your hands back to your feet. And take your feet about as wide as the mat, turning the toes out a little bit, if that's good for you. We just want the knees and the middle toes to keep in line. Low squat. Malasana. Then take your right hand down, lift your left arm up for a little twist. And perhaps you'll wrap your right leg with your left and right arms. So the right arm's wrapping around, the left arm comes behind your back, maybe holding onto the left hand or the left wrist. And back to center. Lift the chest, dropping the tailbone here. Now left hand down, right arm up, get a nice stretch, a little twist. You stay with this, or you'll take your right hand behind your back and bend your left elbow and wrap it around your left knee. And rolling the top shoulder back. So if you have any knee pain in this one, don't go down so low. Come about halfway down. You don't have to worry about wrapping your low squat. And then back to center. Let's walk back out into downward dog. Arms again, shoulder distance, feet hips width. Stretch back, lengthen through the spine. And then looking forward, right leg up again from the inner thigh. As you exhale, we'll slowly bring the knee in, shoulders over wrists, and then step it between the hands. Take the back foot flat into warrior two right away. Make sure you've lined up heel to arch. Then drop the left arm in reverse, stretching out the side body. Keep reversing, straighten your right leg. Inhaling to come up. Shift the hips back a little bit, hinging forward from the front hip crease for triangle pose. Trikonasana. The right hand is down anywhere on the shin, the foot, the floor, or a block. Left arm is up. Exhale, reach the left arm forward and then sweep it down and bring it behind you to the low back, or reach around, hook it onto the thigh. Try and roll the left shoulder open. So we're stretching out shoulders again today. I got my new Fightmaster Yoga t-shirt on. I'm going to love yourself. You can go to fightmasteryoga.com if you want to check one out. Look down and then inhale, step back into plank and lower chaturanga. Inhale, press into hands and feet. Exhale, back to down dog. And left leg up, inhale. As you exhale, we'll just bring the knee forward, hold a moment pressing away from the floor, and then step it between the hands. Back foot is flat. Inhale and come to warrior two. So keep weight in the back leg. Drop the right arm reverse, stretching through the side body. Then keep reversing, straighten your left leg. Make sure your feet are still heel to arch. Come on up, hinging from the front hip crease. So you're heel to arch, hinging from the front hip. Take the left hand down wherever it reaches to. Reach through the right arm. Be sure to press a lot of weight in the base of the big toe of your left foot. And lengthen your torso, especially from the left hip through the left armpit. Breathing here. Look up at the top arm unless it bothers the neck. Reach your right arm forward and then sweep it down. Bring it behind your back, resting at the low back, or reach around and hook it onto the left thigh. Roll the top shoulder back. And continue steady breathing. And now looking down. We'll take the hands on either side of the front foot back to plank and exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Again, stretching back really long through the spine. Try and even out your breath so your inhales and your exhales are equal in length. Look forward, hips high, step or hop the feet up. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale to fold. Press down to rise up, inhale. And then to Samastitihi, exhale. I'm going to do a little balancing. So we'll take the right foot up anywhere above or below the knee. And keep your left foot down. As you lift your right leg, drop your right hip down. Also pin the left hip in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Palms face each other, triceps wrap forward. Keep a steady gazing point, maybe someplace in front of you or on the floor or up higher. As you lift the arms, let the shoulder blades release. Then extend the right leg and bring the right ankle just past the left knee. I'm going to start to sit back and stretch the hips. So sit your hips back, but keep your spine long. You can move a little, or maybe you'll rest your forearms on your shin. Or you might reach your arms forward, but make sure your back stays really, really long. And then we'll slowly come on back up and release it. Right foot down, we'll pick up the left leg anywhere above or below the knee first for Vrikshasana, tree pose. So we just don't want to press it right onto that knee joint. Inhale, add the arms when ready. Be sure to drop your left hip down a little and then draw the right hip in towards center. Steady gaze, steady breath. Now bring the leg forward and cross your ankle past your right knee. Hands to heart, start to stick your buns back. So sit back. And any amount. You can take forearms to shin. You can reach the arms in line with the ears going low or stay up higher. Just keep the breath real steady. Steady gaze will help with balance. Slowly make your way back up and release that foot. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, folding in, hinging from the hips. Inhale, look up, lengthen. And exhale, step back into plank and chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. As you exhale, step it between the hands again. Back foot is flat, warrior two. So again, make sure your heel to arch, the knee over the ankle, then lean your torso forward, take right forearm to right thigh, reach the left arm up and then take it behind you to the low back, or you might hook it onto the thigh. Your right arm can stay, forearm on the thigh, or maybe take your hand to the block or the floor on the pinky toe side of the foot. Or hold on to your ankle. And then, if you'd like, you can take interlocks. So the right arm comes underneath the front of the right thigh, and I'm reaching back for the left hand. And if you've got that, you can start to straighten the leg. So you can do bound triangle pose. It's a pretty big opening, so move into it slowly if you're going to try it. Otherwise, you'll keep the knee bent. And then just release it. Step back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, press up through the hands and feet. Exhale, back into downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. As you exhale, right in between the hands, spin the back heel flat, heel to arch, inhale to come up. Be sure to lift the back inner thigh, pressing that back thigh straight back, and then lean forward, get a little length. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm straight up, then take it behind you to the lower back or reach around your back waist and hook it. Keep the left hand where it is, or you could slide it down to the floor, not a block. Or if you're not going to take the rep, bring it on the inside of the left leg and then bring it underneath it and hold your right hand or your wrist, rolling the top shoulder back. Keeping the knee over the ankle, then maybe you'll start to slowly straighten the left leg. Remember, it's a pretty intense opening, so moving into it slowly. It's fun though. Take another breath here. Look down, rebend the knee a little, hands down, step back through your vinyasa or go right into down dog, your choice. Inhaling up, exhaling back. Stretch all the way back for a long breath. Remember, you can pause anytime you like. Take a child's pose, push the pause button, come back when you're ready. Then looking forward, step or hop your feet up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, press down through the feet, reach tall. Exhale, samastitihi. I'm going to do a little more balancing. So first, I'm going to come back into malasana with the feet wide. Or you can keep your feet parallel if that works, knees and toes line up. Then we'll wrap that right leg. If you can't reach your hands, hold on to your shirt. Now we're going to heel toe the foot a little closer, the left foot a little closer. I'm going to keep that wrap and start to lift up the right leg. I've heard this called stunted bird of paradise. Try and drop the right hip down and pin the left hip in just like you did in tree pose. Steady gazing point helps. And then slowly begin to return it to the floor. And back to malasana, back to your low squat. So find a steady gazing point. Take your left hand and wrap it, right arm behind the back. Walk your feet a little closer first and then start to ground down through the right foot. You want the right foot parallel with the outside of the mat. And pull in your belly and lift that leg. Just lift it right up there. Keep the ribs and belly in. Keep your steady gaze. And if you fall out of it, no biggie, come right back in. Widen across the collarbones, right hip's drawing in, the left hip drops down a little. And then slowly we'll take it back to the floor and unhook. And then just inhale halfway up. Exhale, chaturanga, step or float. Inhaling, upward dog. And exhaling back into downward facing dog. Coming up to the grand finale, the peak pose I don't know if I can't remember if I told you what it is. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, and step it between the hands, spinning the back heel flat. And right into side angle. Then take your left hand behind you, right arm under the front. So again, if you can't clasp, hold on to your clothing or use a strap. And then widen the collarbone, shoulder blades move toward each other. So wrapped Parsvakonasana, look down, step your back foot all the way forward. So left foot's next to right, ground down through the left foot. Use the belly muscles, inhale, lift up that leg, keeping it bent or straightening it out to the side. Find a nice steady gazing point. This is Bird of Paradise pose. Breathing here in our 90-day yoga fix. A lot of people like this one. Now we'll slowly set it back down. And then you're going to step that left foot all the way back where it was. Make sure your heel to arch back to your wrapped pose and then release it. Chaturanga on your exhale. Inhaling up dog. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Now we'll do the left leg. So left leg lifts as you inhale. On the exhale, step it through right in the middle of the hands. Back foot is flat, heel to arch. And then reach your right arm up and take it behind you for your half wrap. Take your left arm in front of the left leg and clasp or hold on to your clothes. If you're clasping, start to straighten the elbows a little bit. Lean the torso back over the left thigh, roll the top shoulder back. Breathe here. And then look down at the left foot. We're going to step the right foot all the way to the front of the mat. Start to press into that right foot. Make sure the right foot is parallel with the outside of the mat. Pull in the belly and pick it up. So you're using belly muscles and arm muscles to lift, plus the right leg stays stable. Maybe straighten the leg, maybe not. Keep your breath steady, steady. And then slowly we'll take it back down. And step the right foot back. So you're again heel to arch back into our wrapped Parsvakonasana. Shoulders should start feeling good and release it down. Step back into plank chaturanga. Inhaling, press through the hands and feet. Exhaling back into down dog. I think I'm smiling so much because I didn't fall out of the pose today. You never know. Come to seated and then lie back, which is fine. Falling out of the pose, totally fine. You just never know. But when it doesn't happen, it's like, oh, good. That's fun. Take the feet hips width apart. Make sure the outer edges of your feet are parallel. And then lift up into bridge. Press into the heels, roll the shoulders under, and then interlace fingers. Keep the chin away from the chest. Breathe here. Even try to lift your frontal hip bones up a bit. And then we'll release and lower down. So if you'd like to take a wheel pose, you'll take your hands up by the ears. First, pause at the crown of the head, line up your wrists and elbows, and then start to straighten the legs. Otherwise, stick with bridge. Feel like you're stretching out the front of your body. So more of a front opening instead of a back bend. Tailbone reaches towards the backs of the knees, spiral the thighs in toward each other. Then to come down, chin to chest, and then lower. And rest. And if you have a block handy, you want to take supported bridge. It's one of my faves. Grab your block and put it right at the base of the spine. And just breathe here. Otherwise, you can take another wheel pose or another bridge pose. Let's catch our breath. And now we'll lift the legs. So if you don't have a block, it's fine. Just lift the legs up. This is a version of Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall pose. It's just nice. It's a little inversion, and it helps to sort of reverse, not really reverse blood flow, but it helps reverse the effects of gravity. How's that? Breathing here. It's nice to reverse the effects of gravity, for sure. Bend the knees, return your feet to the floor. If you have a block, lift off of it, and then hug your knees into your chest. Up and asana, just rocking a little bit back and forth as we continue cooling down. And then begin to roll yourself up and down the spine. If it seems easy to sit up that way, take a couple rolls and sit up. Otherwise, roll to your right and press up. Then extend the legs in front of you, Dandasana. Pull the toes back. If you're rounding at your back at all, sit on the edge of a blanket. It will help to lengthen your spine. Inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale, hinge from the hips, just like we did in the beginning. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale to extend. So instead of letting my back round a lot, I'm trying to lengthen forward with the chest. So belly is reaching toward thighs instead of head reaching toward feet. Return to steady breathing. Head up and release it. And then we're going to make our way onto our backs again. It was really hot inside the shala. Keep wiping the sweat. Right knee draws in. Exhale, bring it to the left for a little twist. If you'd like, you can also try and reach for the left foot, and your left hand is holding the right foot. It's kind of an intense twist. It's fun to try if you like, but if not, regular twist is just as effective. Try and turn the belly up toward the ceiling as you're working your twist. And then bring the head to center, unwind, draw the left knee into the chest, extend the right leg out, and then bring the left knee over to the right side. So you can stay with this or bend your right knee, reaching for your foot with your left hand, and then right hand reaches for left foot. And that leg straightens out. Look over the left shoulder if that's fine with your neck. And again, as you're working your twist, so as you're inhaling, you're creating space through the body, and as you're exhaling, see if you can turn your belly up toward the ceiling a little bit. Head to center, and let's unwind. Reach the tailbone toward the heels. We want to make our way to Shavasana. I'm going to roll up a blanket just a little bit and use it as a cushion for my neck. So my cervical curve in my neck gets a little support. Make sure to reach the tailbone toward the heels, and then let your feet flop open, arms by your sides, palms up. Close your eyes. The neck pillow is completely optional, but what isn't optional is relaxation. So enjoy. I'll be back in a moment. As you're resting a little bit longer, our quote today comes from Eckhart Tolle, an author, wrote The Power of Now and some other wonderful books. What a caterpillar calls the end of the world, we call a butterfly. What a caterpillar calls the end of the world, we call a butterfly. It's a nice one to remember when we are going through those difficult times. Feels like everything's going to fall apart. Many times it does, but then it comes together even better. And begin to take a couple longer breaths, starting to bring your attention back to your breath, noticing the floor under you. Which parts of your body are touching the floor, which parts are not. Just beginning to bring ourselves back to the present moment. As you feel ready, start to move your fingers and your toes. Move your hands and your feet. Inhale, reach the arms overhead for a long stretch. And now bend your knees, roll yourself to the right, pausing just a moment. Think of something you're grateful for today, anything at all. And let's press ourselves up to a comfortable seated position, crossing the shins. Bring the hands together. Bringing our hands to the forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. And then hands to the heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And then hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communication, sending all this wonderful energy out to all beings everywhere. Namaste. I want to thank you so much for joining today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and push the like button and share our classes on your social media with your friends. And if you can afford a donation to help support Fightmaster Yoga, there's a link below. Or you can go to fightmasteryoga.com. And while you're there, sign up for our mailing list. And I send out maybe a couple a month, I would say. There's something else I'm forgetting, but I want you to have a great day. Bye.